Hello everyone and welcome back to Brentford Moneyball Approach with me, Lygo. And today we've got two big games coming up. We've got an away game rather against Derby, who are near the bottom of the league, but we just come off the back of a loss to Huddersfield, and then we've got a huge Derby match following that just after an international break against QPR, who are actually topping the table at the moment. And just before we get into that, remember the game against Watford where we decided to throw it away in the last minute? Well, we did the same thing against Birmingham a couple of games later. 93rd minute goals. We decided to give a penalty away. And then if you look at this goal in the last minute from Jimenez, it's absolutely dreadful. We kick off. Starts with Pinnock. It's one ball forward over the top and straight in the back, and we've just thrown away a 1-0 lead with two silly last minute goals there. So we're definitely shooting ourselves in the foot. After that we did win 3 on the bounce, conceding 1 each game. Then we had a real disappointing game against Huddersfield where we had most of the ball, didn't create anything. Huddersfield sat back, got a 1-0 win, and on top of that, the other big news is we've lost Ollie Watkins, probably maybe for the rest of the season. He's got season-ending injury probably. Expected to return in 5 to 8 months from damaged cruciate ligaments, and he had to go to a specialist for that, so that's a huge concern. And then the other bit of news, Stephen Walker, who we brought in the summer, planned to loan him out, still not been able to get him out on loan as yet, but granted it's for the under-23s, so it's not competitive, but this is a guy that scored 25 goals in 11 games, and he's averaging an 8.55. So I've called him up to the first team, let him train with them in the meantime. He's not played as yet. He's made a couple of substitute appearances, or not so much appearances. He's sat on the bench a couple of times. So if it comes to it, he might get a chance, and he might be a goal scorer that we're looking for. And the team that we've got going into today's game is Gunnarsson in goal. David Raya is another player that's picked up an injury. He's currently out for about another 2 weeks with a hernia. But back four of Henry, Mierdaga, Janssen and Brie. Baptiste anchoring the midfield, Jensen and Norgard ahead of him. And then the front three of Benrahma, Botheim and then Mbeumo. So let's start with Derby and see what happens. Derby lining up with a 4-4-1-1. I reckon they might be fairly defensive based on where they are in the league, but I'm going to ask for the team to avenge what happened last time. We lost 1-0 at home to Derby last time we played them towards the back end of last season. So if we can go out, get an early goal today and set ourselves up for a strong victory, I'll be very happy with that. And if you're liking the content, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe to see more Football Manager videos, and I will be pre-ordering FM21. I'm sure you've seen many other creators mention that that's due out 24th of November, so I'll try and get in on the beta. Not got any plans as yet for that, but if you've got any ideas, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, subscribe for more Football Manager videos. But we got into half time, 0-0, nothing really much happening in this game at all. There was one minor chance, but nothing really to speak of. Tell the boys that not happy, give them a bit of a grilling. And they seem to react every time, but only in character. They don't show any performances on the pitch when I do ask for it. But we've got a throw in here, so that might change. It's headed away by Derby, picked up by Norgard to Baptiste. Switches it to Henry on this left hand side. Gets across in Botheim, and there we are. First goal of the day, Eric Botheim with his 6th of the season. And that's what we were looking for in the build up to this season, utilising the strength in the wings and the wide areas. And Henry creates a chance, puts it into the middle, and Botheim finishes with a fantastic header, but just on the hour mark. We'll let this highlight play out, and then we will look to make some substitutions. But it's Henry, Miyazaga, Baptiste, across to Norgard. Tries to find Henry again, but it's intercepted. We've given the ball away too easy there. Derby look to come forward now. There's not really creating much. We're holding our line, but as I say that, they've got him down this right hand side. And Henry's... It's another sloppy penalty. How many times are we going to keep doing this? Every time we get in the leading position, we keep throwing games away. And it's frustrating and annoying, because I think it comes down to personnel. No matter how much I tweak the tactics. Yes, Derby player got in there, but giving away the penalty just comes down to the player. Derby make it 1-1 from the spot. And we've got a lot to do here, because as you can see, few players not having a good game. Benrahma and Mbuemo, so they're going to be the first two off the field. I think followed by Jensen as well. And we will get our first look at Stephen Walker. Bring him on. We'll bring Brewster on. I think the final change will be Jensen off for Zamburek. And what we're going to do is go 3 up top. Change 2 to a false 9. Won't bother looking for the overlap. Has to play a bit more direct with creative freedom. And I don't really know what to tell you. It's frustrating. Time and time again. We just keep giving sloppy goals away. It's costing us points. And yes, we're still second in the league at the moment, but it's incredible how many games and goals we've ruined through silly mistakes. And despite the changes, the game peters out to a 1-1 draw. Nothing worthy to speak of in that second half, despite that, apart from that penalty. And instead of being assertive, I'm going to go aggressive for once, because Derby were 22nd in the league. If we just have a look at the table, you can see that was a game in hand for us to close the gap on QPR. We've not done it. Derby way down in 22nd, and I'm speechless. So we move on to the top of the table, Derby at home against QPR, and with the problems we've been having in recent form, I'm going to stick with the 3 at the back. I feel we've had more success with that than the 4 at the back. So we go with Gunnarsson in goal, because Roya is still not fully fit. Jean-Pierre, Janssen and Miazga as the back 3. Henry and Brie as the fullbacks or wingbacks. Jensen and Norgard in the middle, and then Benrahma and Mbuemo and Botheim leading the line. Now we go into this, I think we're 7 points behind QPR. We definitely need a good showing today. Really want to take all 3 points. Huge derby for the team, so go give the fans something to cheer about. And over to the players now. There's highlights straight from the kickoff. We're knocking about at the back, which is where we've given a few goals away recently, so a little bit nervous about this, but Janvier seems to be bringing it out. But we go back to knocking it around again. Not entirely happy, but we've started to get it forward, and Mbuemo's got the ball here. Finds Jensen. Across to Norgard, seeks Henry down the left, but can't quite get there. He's managed to get it at the second attempt. Benrahma feeds in Botheim, and he really should have done better. 1-on-1, clear-cut chance. First minute we should be taking the lead, but we've got a corner with Jensen aiming for Benrahma, and it's a good save from the QPR keeper. That's a positive start. We've got the ball again, but it's been thrown straight to Smith. Norgard intercepts, frees Benrahma, driving into the area, well blocked by the defender. QPR haven't got it quite cleared yet. press them high. Benrahma's got the ball back into the area. Could have done with putting that across goal rather than straight at the keeper from that narrow angle. This is exactly what I wanted to see. We're not having a lot of the possession, but we're making the most of what we've got. QPR look to build from the back this time. And it's a long ball over the top. They've got in down the left. Excellent tackle from Bree. And with this being a derby, I'm going to ask some passion. We are at home. Can we get the fans on side? We've headed the corner clear, and Buemo back to Gunnarsson. And that abruptly ends there. And since the last couple of minutes, it all seems to be QPR coming forward now. But let's for some passion. Hopefully the players can turn that around. Again, it's QPR coming forward with a highlight. Henry tries to intercept. Second bite of the cherry, can't quite get there. QPR work it into the box. Second attempt, and it's a good save by Gunnarsson. And don't forget to let me know down in the comments. Let me know whether you think the back four or the back three, from what you've seen, is more successful. I know I've played about with it off camera, and maybe it's just a confirmation bias for myself, but I just can't understand why we give so many goals away with the back four. But we managed to get into the area. Botine scored. That's his 7th of the season, and he's still not happy chappy, because he wants a new contract. He's demanding a lot of money, a lot of bonuses, which I'm not willing to give him. But that said, he's starting games now. He's scoring. So I think at some point I might have to cave into the demands. He's forced Brewster out of the team. So for a player that we've paid £1 million for last year, he's coming to the team. He's starting games now, leading the line. There is one trait that I'm trying to get rid of him. Is he likes playing with his back to goal at the moment, which I don't want my fans forward to do that. So hopefully he can get rid of that and he'll improve even more. But 7 goals for the season. I think he's probably had about 10 starts now. So it's a very good return from him. QPR break into the box. It deflects out to Stevens and he tucks it in the bottom corner. Gunnarsson can't do anything about that. And we're not quick enough to that second ball. But give it to the hour mark. Let's see how things go for the next 5 minutes. We're not playing terribly, but we'll make some changes. And it looks like between Bree and Mbeumo we're not having much luck down this right hand side. And then Jensen's not having a very good game at all, so they're the changes I'm going to make. I think Zamburik can come on in the middle, play that Mazzala role, push him a little bit further forward. And then down the right hand side, we swap Mbeumo and Benrahma and let Brewster play as the inside forward on the left. And then we don't have a right back on the bench. It's not ideal, so what we'll do is put Baptiste there. He's used to playing as a box-to-box midfielder. Doesn't show his role and duty, but there we are. Shows him as a box-to-box midfielder, which, for what I want from the fullbacks or the wing-backs, I don't think there's a huge difference between the abilities and attributes needed. So let him play there. Go ask him to make a difference, as with the others. As for a bit more creativity, because we're not having a bad game, we're just not imposing ourselves on it. QPR look to build out from the back again, pressing, but we can't quite get the ball. A few quick passes, bypasses Zamburik there. Brewster tries to intercept but can't. Ever so nearly, but Henry does that time. Brewster picks up, long ball forward. Botheim try to get there. Zamburek finds Ben Rama down his right hand side. Can he get the ball into the middle? Cuts it back to Baptiste. Couple of little 1-2s there. It's into the middle. Falls to Brewster. Hits the defender. Can't quite turn it into the back of the net. And we need to stop the break now. And there's Marcandle's an old player of ours. We've let him go, and he's playing as a striker for QPR, which I suppose he can do. I was always trying to play him as a central midfielder, and maybe that was the problem. We've got again QPR starting with the ball. We force them all the way back to the halfway line. Botheim's intercepted. 1-on-1 with the keeper who's driving in on goal. Can he score? Tucks it in the near post, and goal number 8 for Eric Botheim. 85 minutes on the clock. Surely that's got to be it. No more silly goals. I'm going to ask them to concentrate. It's not really done much other than overwhelmed Botheim, but 94 minutes on the clock, ticking away. 2-1, and there we are. We finally put our demons behind us, conceding silly late goals, and instead we've got one of our own. I'm going to passionately tell the team it was a good win for us. We've closed the gap at the top of the league. Was a 7-point gap, now 4. We've still got Watford and Reading, Forest and Villa all hot on our tails. Very competitive at the top of the league, but that was a huge win, and we're going to play Gillingham next, who not doing too bad considering they got promoted last year. And if we have a look at the schedule, just played here, so I think if we come back probably for the Bristol and Barnsley games, and what I'll do is include the January transfers in that as well. But if you've liked that, leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more Football Manager content, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching.